Everyone had their own comic websites. They all kind of linked to each other. And obviously the way to get people to your websites was through a search engine. You had to make your content so that it had good SEO. You did blogging. You did all this kind of stuff to try to make it so that search engines pointed people to your website. And then you would go out and buy advertising on other websites. And there was a lot of different ways to do it, but Project Wonderful was one of the best ones for webcomics because it was a bidding system and you would be able to dig through all these other webcomics and find similar webcomics to yours. So a lot of webcomics had advertising because they would make a little bit of money and they would also cross-promote each other's comics. And then that mixed with everybody else sharing each other's work, it seemed to work really well with all these independent websites. And then that mixed in with the search engines like Google, constantly finding organic information like from blog posts and stuff like that on all these independent websites. You could really generate a bunch of traffic to your website, to your comic. And then there was the social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You would post little snapshots of what you're working on, and it was just this big link fest. Yay, everyone's linking to each other, and it was great. Then there were RSS readers that gave the ability to access the feeds of all these different websites, simultaneously put them in one place. It didn't try to steal you away from the website. Everyone still controlled their own website. It just made it easy if you had 100 different webcomics that you were reading. The next layer was everybody had a mailing list, or most people did, and you were always encouraging your audience to join your mailing list, to join your RSS feed so they can be notified of when you have new content coming out or new products coming out. And this was really important because the mailing list was how you made money, because you started building a list of people, so when you did a Kickstarter or whatever, you could send all the people to it. And then obviously there's all the other websites, and any links from other websites was a big plus because that's how the search engines rated your website to make sure that it was legit. And there was a lot of value on these independent websites and how the search engines categorized them. And there was all this interconnectivity that made it all work. And this was in my mind a really sweet spot in the internet with webcomics. But what happens when big companies see that a bunch of independent people are being successful and making money and doing their own thing? They say, I want that! That is mine! I'm gonna do whatever it takes to take control back of these little peons who are doing things amazingly on their own. I want control! Control! I will dangle carrots in front of them and offer them money and success and fame, and they will take a bite out of that apple, and then they will be mine! And then suddenly Patreon appears out of nowhere. Hey guys, if we all just join forces and be unified under my website, and you all come over and gather with me under my website, then we can all rise up together! And then all the giant social media companies had a secret meeting and said, let's make it so their RSS feeds are meaningless. Our websites will be their RSS feeds from now on. We will make them obsolete. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this website called YouTube that was just kind of hanging out on the sidelines making videos. And then the biggest search engine in the world, Google, bought them for like $4 billion. And they thought,
hey, why are we sending all the search traffic straight to these independent websites when we could just be sending it straight to ourselves on YouTube?
A little website named Comixology was making inroads with Marvel and DC, and so Amazon bought them up. And that way everybody could read their comics on Kindle. And then a monolithic website from South Korea called Webtoons came to the United States saying, we've done this for 10 years over in South Korea and we're huge. By the way, we're owned by Naver, which is kind of like the Facebook of the South Korea. And we have infinite money to just blow. Other sites like Tapastic. Hey guys, remember me? I've been around here a long time too. Which then inspired a whole new generation of other comic readers like Macroverse and Archaven. And on top of that, everyone was fighting to be the best mobile-friendly app so that everybody would read their webcomics on their iPhone. All this heated competition and pressure led to Project Wonderful closing its doors in 2018. And slowly over time, nobody went to webcomic websites anymore. They were never owned by the individuals. Now the question was, which platform do you publish your webcomic on?